All right, we're going to go ahead and start this regular scheduled meeting for Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. Call to order. If everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cruciat?
Here.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Here.
Let the record show that Commissioner Walker and and Chair Pahana have excused absences. Vice Chair Dixon?
Here. All right, announcements. These proceedings may be viewed or demanded on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going to the city website and clicking the meeting's agenda link. Public comments. This is the time for the public to address the Planning Commission on issues within the jurisdiction of the Commission that are not on the agenda. All comments are to be directed to the Chair of the Commission and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out your name, address slip, and give them to the Planning Commission Secretary. The Planning Commission is prohibited by Brown Act, state law, from taking action or discussing in length items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the items on the agenda. Do I have any public comments? I have not received any. All right, I will close the public comments. Commissioners' comments and reports of meetings attended. Jim?
I've attended no recent meetings.
All right.
I have none other than to say people, it's good Pioneer Days, and thank everyone for coming out.
Good, thanks, Greg. I have not attended any as well. All right, consent calendar. No one on the item. So approval of the Planning Commission minute meetings for September 6, 2022. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Are there any corrections?
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
I second.
All right, roll call vote.
Commissioner Cruciat?
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon?
Aye.
Approved?
All right, do we have any items removed from the consent calendar for discussion?
Nope.
Which I don't believe we do. All right, perfect. We're going to go ahead and get into the first meeting of public hearing, which is appeal or denial of the VHR 22-133 at 7191 Utah Trail, number 2, and we'll pass this off to staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Keith Gardner, Community Development Director. This first item is an appeal of a denial of vacation home rental permit, VHR 22-133. The applicant is Eileen Leslie, and also is the appellant. The location is at 7191 Utah Trail, and it is, we do have the appropriate zoning designation for it, residential single-family 4 units per acre. Here we have 2 aerials, one more of a regional and one more zoomed in so you can see the property. There are 3 units currently on site, and this is the structure in question. Basically going, I believe the pictures go from north to south. This particular unit has a vacation home rental on it. There we go. And this is the unit that is in question. This is a blow-up view of that particular unit. In March of this year, VHR permit was approved for the 3rd unit, which we did not show, but just for the Planning Commission's information, which is a completely detached single-family home. In May of this year, 2 applications were filed for the pictures we just showed, Units 1 and Unit 2. On September 13th of this year, staff approved one of the permits and denied the permit for the other one. On September 26th, the applicant filed the appeal to the Planning Commission. The code adopted in 2016 states the vacation home rental shall be limited to those that are physically separate, standalone, single-family residential units, not attached to or sharing a common wall with any other residential unit. In June of 2018, the then Community Development Director informed the applicant that the units met the intent of the code and could be permitted. In July 2020, the commission made a determination that the code will not allow permitting for units that were attached in any manner. In 2022, a revision to the VHR code was adopted and the language was modified to standalone detached single family. The applicant is requesting approval based upon Chapter 1941 that at the time of the VHR application submission, the single-family residence met the requirements of the code as it is appropriate for dwelling, lodging, and sleeping purposes, and based upon the communication that was received by the Community Development Director. And let's see, I thought we had some timing. Yeah. So, and so since the code changed in the interim, we denied the application based upon that. But the question is still how attached is attached. And so the commission, we are making no recommendation of this appeal or this VHR. So the commission has basically two decisions to make, or they can come up with a third one, which I'll get here in a minute. One is to approve the appeal and approve the vacation home rental per the applicant's request, or deny the appeal and deny the vacation home rental. Or you could request additional information from staff and postpone the hearing to another date. That's it for right now. Okay, so that concludes staff's presentation.
Perfect. Thanks so very much. Commission questions and comments. So, Mr. Mendoza, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
Mr. Krusak, do you have anything
Um,
for staff?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is between the two ordinances was adding the word detached. But what the main thing was is sharing a common wall. Now, I've had this issue with the previous community development director on what that meant. Does that mean a load-bearing common wall between two residential units, two living spaces? If the houses were separated by a carport, would that be okay? Because that would just be sharing a roof. And it was kind of ambiguous.
And this is why we're here.
And this is why we're here. And it is ambiguous. And that's the only thing I could say is, I think a decision has to be made on what are we talking about. If it's a common wall between two living units like we see with most duplexes, you're right. If I took, because if one becomes a VHR, you're right next to another family. But if you're divided and it says next to a residential unit, it's not next to a residential unit, next to a garage or a carport. And I'm just stating, I had issues with it because I thought there was ambiguity in the ordinance. That's all.
Oh, and I want to let the commission know that the applicant's attorney, I believe, could be joining us by go-to meeting. So from periodically, I'll be checking to see if they are ready to participate.
Okay. Mr. Krusak, you have anything else?
No.
All right. I will close that. I will open it up for public hearing. Do I have the applicant here that would wish to speak? All right. Please step up, state your name. And remember, all comments are directed to us up here at the commission.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Eileen Leslie, and I often attend City Commission and Council meetings. And most of you know that I purchased Bistro 29 and the property east of it, for which you graciously approved my conditional use permit. I come before you today to reveal more about myself and to implore you to grant my appeal for the third house on my property at 7191 Utah Trail Road. This property is special. It is one lot with one APN number with 3 single-family residences. At 23, I was a single divorced mother of 2 with no prospect for prosperity. But I am a go-getter and a good provider. So I became a resident manager, which allowed me to make dinner every night and attend karate and baseball daily with my 2 sons. Being an apartment manager also afforded me the ability to attend school and to ultimately graduate from UCLA and then law school. To date, I have been a property manager for over 30 years. My occupancy rate is 100%, and my tenants are 90% women. I take pride in my properties, and I focus on providing safe living spaces. In 2018, the Utah property was dilapidated and, to the best of my knowledge, vacant. I felt I could give it new life, so the owner was contacted. We agreed upon a price. My real estate agent sent me this picture just before we'd opened escrow. There was no way in good conscience that I could rent these houses as long-term rentals after seeing this picture.
Please direct those towards us, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Through my shock, I considered short-term rentals, and I contacted Travis Clark for guidance. After he reviewed the ordinance and the property, he sent me the following email dated June 18th, 2018. Quote, Ms. Leslie, while all on one parcel, each of the 3 dwellings is a separate unit. As such, I concur they meet the requirements and the intent of the Vacation Home Rental Code. As stated, each unit will be required to register separately as a vacation home rental. And of course, each unit must meet the necessary building and safety requirements. Travis Clark, end quote. I then entered escrow and owned the property by July 31st, 2018. In order to start a new short-term rental business and to manage the vacation home rentals, and in reliance on the letter from Mr. Clark, I rented my restaurant in Los Angeles, moved here permanently, fixed these properties at great expense, purchased Bistro 29, purchased and started the renovations for the new bar, and bought another ABC liquor license. I went into my retirement money to set up a life here. Before the revised VHR ordinance took effect, all applications were submitted for VHR permits for each single-family residence. And as you know, he stated, 2 out of 3 are approved. I believe that you and I have the same goals for the city: peace, prosperity, and growth. This is a unique situation, and I ask that you find the staff interpretation not applicable and grant my appeal so I can move forward. And now my final picture is what the property looks like today. I don't know if any of you remember what it looked like.
Can I,
Certainly.
is the garage not there?
The garage is here,
It's just
Okay.
between the 2.
so I don't know if I'm on.
Okay.
Yes,
I
you can
see
come
it-
up so we can
I see
see.
it now. Okay,
The first unit,
okay.
the garage is in between. They don't share a common wall for any kind of sleeping arrangement. That's the ordinance. My applications were in May 20th, and the new ordinance was approved May 24th, and I believe it went into effect 30 days later. I started this one just because it has an office on the side. At one point during from the time that I had the conversation with Travis Clark, from 2018, we went through COVID, we had short-term rentals, we were all stopped by the state of California. The only thing that ever came up in any conversation was Shelley Green, city staffer, contacted me and asked on the first application, which is the detached home, for me to have the county assessor's office come out to the property to verify that the descriptor code as 3 single-family residences was in fact matching to what the description was. I met with the county assessor. They determined after their inspection that it is 3 single-family residences. They changed the descriptor code. Ms. Green received that information, and that's how we proceeded with the 1 unit getting approved. And from there, it's been a slow process. The restaurant is also, the commercial property is taking a lot of my time.
Thank
very
you. I
much.
appreciate it. Do I have any questions of the commissioners to the applicant? All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. All right. I do have some public comments, so please bear with us. I'm going to go in the order that they received them. So I want to say Cindy Bernard. And remember, direct all comments to the commission, and you have 3 minutes.
I just want to say I really like Eileen. I think she's great. I think she's done amazing things. But speaking as someone that was on the STR committee, when I went and drove actually just an hour ago and looked at the property. To me, that property reads as a duplex and a single-family residence. So I'm a little confused as to, under the original code, how the duplex was granted an STR permit at all. I could see the single-family residence being granted a permit, and I certainly am just a little concerned that if you grant 2 permits for the unit that reads as a duplex, that it's like 2 building, it's a one building with 2 units in a garage. with the garage in between, which is what's creating the ambiguity, right? But my worry would be a slippery slope. That's all. Think about the slippery slope of other residents who have similar kinds of structures who are then going to come in and want to get permits. And I feel badly for her because I think she was misinformed in the first place, and I don't know how you compensate for the misinformation that she was given. That's problematic for sure. So I feel for her. But I'm just speaking from having gone through the code. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Anything to add? All right. I'm going to move on. Mary?
Mary Jane Bingy.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Mary Jane Bingy, and I've known Eileen Leslie for many years, and I know how careful she is before she goes out and she buys a property. She does her research, and I knew when this property was for sale, and in my opinion, it was for what it was. She paid a very good price for it, and I know she would not have gone ahead without that letter from Travis saying that she could go ahead. She never would have bought it. And just a little backstory, when I bought my office many, many years ago, back in the 80s, the county, it was county back then, it was commercial, and I bought it because it was commercial, and they wanted to change it to residential. So I went down to San Bernardino County, and I fought for that, getting it back to commercial, because I was going to open up a business there, and it was granted to me. And I think anytime anybody buys any property under the premise that they can do a particular thing with that property and the rules change afterwards, I think that's incorrect. And I think she should be granted permission to go ahead with her original plan. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next one. Vincent?
Hello. I live up on Serrano, up Utah Trail right there. I'm a resident here, and I work here in town as a real estate agent. Been driving private property for many, many years, and I'm glad to see that it has been improved, that it does look nice now, instead of looking like a potential place for, tweakers to spend the night. What I was really concerned with is, as a real estate agent here in town, how can I answer potential buyers that the city's response to zoning and use approval can be trusted if they change their decisions like this, even after having paperwork, having it in writing that it's been accepted? How can we expect people to come in and invest into town if they're not sure what's going to happen from day to day? Also, if you do look at that picture, you were talking about the whole concept of adjoining walls within real estate. When I put on a listing, if a house has an adjoining wall, that's exactly what it means, a load-bearing structure between two residences. If you look at that picture right there, you can see that the garage has its own wall separate from the load-bearing wall to the structure next door to it, even though they're very close. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. This next one I think is Stephanie? Stephen?
Hey, how are you guys? I'm Steven. I'm here in solidarity for Eileen. I know Eileen is a member of the community and someone who is adding value to the community by opening up a restaurant and a bar. I think it's only fair that the appeal should be granted. She has it in writing clear as day. Whether the ordinance had been changed since the close of escrow on her property is completely irrelevant. At the time she purchased the property, she had written consent by the city of 29 Palms to be able to use the property for what she had the intention for, and she closed on the property. I think it's pretty important that the appeal be granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. The last one that I have a slip for is Joseph.
How's it going? I'm Joseph Candelaria. Yeah, I just wanted to come out and show my support for Eileen because I'm a local contractor. I work with my dad. She's someone that came into this community and is trying to build things up. I think in every way you can see from this property. While I understand that the verbiage on the STR stuff is a little confusing, I think this is a situation where good intentions, right? Like the road to hell's paved in it. I think a lot of people were trying really hard to make it work, and at the last minute things changed. I think the only person here losing is Eileen. That seems a little bit unjust, in my opinion. I think that she has roots here. She's looking to create community. I think that's important when looking forward. I think right now 29 Palm seems to be posturing for business, which I think is good for the growth. But I think we can't forget those small independent business owners. While I love corporations and all those big guys coming in, it's very important that we look at like the small business owners, the people that are day-to-day boots on the ground. That's it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. I'm going to bring it back up here for commission comments. Mr. Mendoza, I'll start with you.
Well, I have a lot of issues. One of the key ones I do see here is the letter from Travis stating that each unit each dwelling is a separate unit. I don't know specifically that his intent was to say they meet the code exactly, because even at that time the code was they had to be not connected. It was also clear as mud as to what connected meant at that time. I do think Ms. Leslie has acted in good faith and relied on information provided by the city staff, and that goes a long way with me. Now, in light of that, we've had discussion about load-bearing walls, et cetera, et cetera. 5 years ago, we started to build a casita for my mother-in-law so she could live with us but have her own separate place. That was going to be, as it was determined by the city, it would be a detached second unit, which would trigger certain street improvements and things like that. However, I was told, and I followed this, if it was connected by even a roof, it was simply an addition, and then those extra requirements would not be triggered. So by that standard, it's not a separate unit, and my understanding has always been that if my mother-in-law, or when she passes away, we could consider using it as a vacational rental. However, I have been led, and I understand that I can't do it because it is connected as an addition by a roof. So we need to make this very, very clear in the future. I do think, in spite of the fact that there was a definition that was applicable, that was not stated to Ms. Leslie. And this cannot be precedent to allow another situation like this to occur. Oh, they're just attached by a garage or a roof. We need to clarify that language 100%. But in this case, I don't feel it would be fair to Ms. Leslie because she relied upon information, though erroneous, provided by staff.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mendoza. All right, Mr. Krushak, do you have anything?
Yeah, I would just, in further I've already dealt with the ambiguity in the ordinance, and I agree that the city came forward, they looked at the issue, and a city official made a decision, and Ms. Leslie operated in good faith in that. The third thing I did was I went out and looked at the property. I drove out there, I saw it, and now I have to apply common sense. It's a corner property, it's 3 distinct living areas, and it just seems to me to make sense to me not to have 2 can be VHRs and 1 can't. So I would just go with, yes, I think that all 3 should be allowed to be VHRs.
All right, thank you, Mr. Krushak. So once again, I agree with both commissioners as well on different points that we see with emails. I did actually go out to the property as well and look at it, and the corner lot is obviously a concern or a valuable thing for that when we talk about those structures. So I know what it says in the code, and I know obviously the appeal. So, I mean, it's one of those tough ones that the good faith plus what the code says is two different things on what we're looking at. So it is definitely very hard. But those are my comments. So what I will do is I will close our commission comments and I will open it for a motion.
Before we go to a motion, I have a question for staff. Can we address tonight a clear definition, or is what we have in the code okay now?
My recommendation is if this is approved, then the commission direct staff or ask staff to make some clarification for further consideration.
In that case, I'm ready to make a motion to approve the appeal and allow Ms. Leslie to operate the third unit in the vacation home rental.
I second.
All right, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kruschat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon.
Aye.
It's 3-0 to approve the appeal.
All right, we'll move on to our next one.
Please refrain from clapping or cheering.
All right, number 2 on the agenda is SPR 22, lots of zeros 3, affordable housing project, and I will pass it off to staff.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. SPR 22, bunch of zeros 3, site plan design review for affordable housing project. By the way, we do have the development team on go-to. I did see them there, and I believe Travis Clark is also available. But as far as this presentation goes, this is actually a City of 29 Palms with the Milestone Housing Group joint venture. It is the site is currently vacant, but has been previously disturbed. And the actual project is 100 multifamily affordable housing units, and it is really right next door to City Hall. It is consistent with the downtown residential zone as downtown residential 20 units per acre. Size is approximately 3.5 acres. And the downtown residential zone allows for this type of development with walkable mid-density multifamily residential units. Has to be high-quality architecture, drought-resistant landscape architecture, and dark sky lighting, of course. This is the location. In case we're confused of where we are sitting probably about right there on this map. And here's the zoning. This is DR20 with the downtown general to the east, and then multifamily residential to the north, and then typical single family to the west. Looking at the project site, looks like it's vacant land. The actual proposal is 100 units of affordable housing, including low income, very low income, and extremely low income. And if we need definitions of those, I think our development team can help answer those questions. 96,216 total feet of all structures. Density is 28.6 units per acre. On-site is 112 spaces with landscaping, trash enclosures, et cetera, and an on-site sewage treatment plant. And then street improvements will be required along Civic Center Drive and Smoke Tree Avenue, and a paseo to connect El Paseo Drive and Veterans Memorial Park. And it's within close proximity to a number of amenities, parks and libraries and Sheriff's Department, City Hall, et cetera, et cetera. There is one 3-story elevator building with 41 bedroom units, with kitchens, restrooms, meeting room, computer area, outdoor patio, and barbecue area. And three-story walk-up buildings, 16 one-bedroom units, 24 two-bedroom units, 20 three-bedroom units. Again, with kitchen, restroom, meeting room, computer area, barbecue area, and tot lot. Here is the site plan. I know it's small type, it's hard to read, but there we are. The architecture is mid-century modern, which is similar to the style of City Hall. It's got good articulation of buildings, walls, and roof line, and desert colors of tan and beige. Here are the artist's renderings as to what it will eventually look like. Here's a multifamily housing portion of it. And here it is from Smoke Tree Avenue. Here is the actual architectural elevations. And there's a bunch of these slides I'm going to go through relatively quickly. And if the commission wants me to halt or stop or go back, just let me know and I will do so. This is the senior housing portion. Here's the amenity building. And again, I realize this is shrunk down floor plans, but it might be hard to read, but you know, here they are. And the amenities building will include a club room, lobby, leasing office, restrooms, maintenance, bike room, and et cetera, laundry room. Here are the one-bedroom plans, ranging from, was it 615 square feet to 644 square feet? And the two bedrooms range anywhere from 643 square feet net to 858 square feet. Okay.
If you look at the middle,
Plan 2-2.
yes, in the verbiage, it says 3 bedroom.
You are correct. The verbiage does say that.
The 2-2A says 3 bedroom.
2A. Oh, it does say that, yes. I think that is.
2 bedroom, 2 bath.
Yeah, I believe those are errors in the nomenclature because I'm only seeing 2 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms.
Just pointing out.
Thank you, sir. Okay, 3 bedrooms. Ranging 997 square feet, basically 1,000 square feet, up to 1,040. The landscape plan has the trees, scrubs, and ground cover that are drought resistant and typical of this area. And here is the landscape plan. Obviously, we're not going to have the pinks in real life. Those are just indications of the plant type here at the bottom. Continuing on the landscape plan. Staff is finding this project is exempt from CEQA because it's an infill project, and the site is under 5 acres and development exists on all 4 sides of the property. So we are considering this an infill project and therefore exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. So we are recommending that we approve the resolution finding the project is exempt from CEQA, approving the site plan and design review for SPR 22000003, this particular affordable housing project. And that concludes staff's presentation. And I will see if we have several people from the development team on the go-to meeting. I don't know if anyone from the development team is here personally, but here we are.
All right, I'll go ahead and open it for commission questions to staff. Mr. Mendoza, do you have anything?
I have nothing at this time.
All right, Mr. Kushak, do you have anything?
I have nothing at this time.
All right, I have nothing as well. We'll go ahead and open it to the public hearing. I have no forms. Does anyone wish to talk about this that does not have a form? All right, if you do have a form, please bring it up to our...
I want to remind the chair, I believe we've got the development team on go-to meeting. I do not know if they wish to speak at this time.
Okay. Okay. Manuel, are you here for public comments or on this topic? This topic. Okay, because you did put in here for public comments, so. Okay. So are you in favor or opposed of?
Opposed?
Okay, I'll get you in a second.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so opening it up to public comment. I do have one right now. So Manuel, go ahead and step up, state your name, and present everything to us.
Hello. Hello, my name is Manuel Arredondo. Me and my wife purchased a home. We live off of, our address is 73535 El Paso Drive. We live right on the corner there. And I mean, we came from like Garden Grove, Anaheim, Orange County area. That's where we came from. We've been here about a little over 2 years now. We came out here for the simple fact because I mean, they started doing that over there a lot. I mean, especially in Anaheim where they build these. I mean, yeah, it looks nice at first and all that, but once people start moving in and out, I mean, we lived there. I lived in Orange County like all my life, pretty much, you know. Me and my wife. So when we came out here, we were so happy. It was so peaceful. I mean, this area. I mean, the mountains. I mean, everything is just so beautiful, you know. And if you guys put that housing there, I mean, I'm just from experience, there's gonna be a lot of crime. There's gonna be a lot. I mean, that it's gonna look nice at first, but if they don't, I'm just asking if they don't take care of it. If you guys don't have I'm wondering if you guys have like a plan for like policing the area. Is it gonna be like pushed up because of that? More people, or that's what we're kind of worried about. You know, too much. The crime, the people, you know, and we don't want to leave here. We like it. We love it here, you know. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, looks like I have a couple more, so if you can bring that up to the,
Sure. I'm sorry, I didn't know the agenda item.
it's number 2. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sir, what is your name?
Octavius.
Octavius. You can go ahead and step up to the podium, please. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
No worries.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Octavius Scott. I live in District 4 here in 29 Palms. And, you know, I have to agree with the other comments that were made today that a 3-story building next to that area, it just looks like it's going to be an eyesore. It's going to be highly condensed, and I fear that it could bring some crime. I don't know if it's in keeping with other architecture that's in the city. I'm not sure if there is any other 3-story building in 29 Palms for residential use. And so I know the constituents of District 4, they're not necessarily going to want that plan to go through. And so I'm just speaking for the residents that live near that area. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Yeah, just bring it on up. Joseph?
My name's Joseph Candelaria. I live in District 3, which I think would be a little bit more affected than District 4. And I think this is a great idea. While I totally understand the concerns about crime rates and I guess all these kinds of like new challenges, new adventures the city would have to get into, I think it's an opportunity for maybe 29 Palms to be a leader. How do we put in public housing that works for the community? I think that's a great problem that we could solve here. We have a local tight-knit community that could address those things. I think to be afraid of change because of decor or the dynamic of like how a building fits in a community is a little bit fugazi to me, but I understand that a 3-story building in 29 Palms is a little different. I think looking at it from a business standpoint, I think this should be open to predominantly local contractors. I am a local contractor, and I think that this is something that could give a lot of good local businesses money and experience in these kind of projects. That's important. I'm born and raised here. I think I would love to get my hands on something like this. I think there's a few companies that are from here that would like to do the same thing. 29 Palms is growing. These are the kinds of projects we need, and we need locals working on them. So for that, I am for it.
All right, thank you so very much. Monica?
My name's Monica Arredondo, and I also live here off of El Paseo.
Can you move the
Neighbors.
mic down a little bit so those that are
Yes.
not visiting us?
Start over?
No, you're good.
Okay, so we live right here, and as my husband also said, we do come from a community where there have been a lot of housings for the people that don't have or are on housing and stuff like that. So seeing that and seeing how beautiful these places are in the beginning, and then completely riddled with insects, roaches, rats. It's just drugs, paraphernalia on the floors. The children that we have here, you know, we want to take care of our children. We don't want to expose them to things like that. It is moving over here a lot more. I've noticed in the streets a lot more homeless people. So I noticed that it is coming up the mountain and towards this way. So I know it looks beautiful in the beginning, but it does cause a lot of damage in the future. So, you know, a 3-story building, our mountains are going to be blocked. It's, you know, our stars, what happened with the keeping the lights dim and, you know, trying to make our community look better. I know that this looks good for companies that are coming in, and it's great for work and everything, but or just
Well, just
that are
direct it
here.
towards me.
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
are here already. I understand that it's good to, but a 3-story and to have that many low income around schools is going to be a big problem.
All right,
So,
thank you very
Thank
much.
you for listening.
All right, I have one more. Mary Jane?
Mary Jane Bingy. I appreciate what the lady just said right before me, but this is 29 Palms. And if you go around and if you look at the low-income housing in 29 Palms, it's all very well kept. They have lawns. I don't believe they have a lot of trouble in there. They're maintained. And the Holiday Inn has, what is it, that a 4-story? And I know that was one complaint about blocking the mountains. Well, I don't think it has blocked the mountains. I don't think it's blocked the view for anybody, the hotel. So I'm very much in favor of you continuing on with this project for low income. We need it desperately. And low income doesn't mean that we're going to get the trashy people. It means we're going to get people that need housing, people that are going to care for their property, people that that need help. And is there an I know you can't answer me, but maybe there's an age limit. Maybe this is some for older people too.
There is a specific building.
Right. So I know they would take care of their properties. They wouldn't let it get trashed anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to say I'm very much in favor of it and hope you go through with it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. I'll open it up for commission discussions. Mr. Mendoza.
I'm very aware of the 3 low-income housing projects we have here, and I will say that they are well-maintained. They've not had, as any apartment complex is going to, there are issues from time to time with not good people living there. But my biggest concern is we hear people, particularly when we're talking about vacational rentals, time after time after time, ad infinitum ad nauseum, that we have a dearth of affordable housing in this community. So if everyone agrees we have an extreme lack of affordable housing, where do we put it? We don't want it here? Well, let's put it over there. All the people there don't want it. So I think, well, I certainly understand the issues raised by some of the speakers. I feel the need for this type of housing, unfortunately, outweighs the issues that were raised, because we need the affordable housing.
All right, thank you. Mr. Krushak.
Yeah, I'll agree with Mr. Mendoza. The need for affordable housing has never been more evident than right now. Yeah, a lot of our property values have gone up in the last few years, and that has pushed a lot of people out. We need to correct that. I agree with Mr. Mendoza. It doesn't matter where we seem to put the project, somebody has an issue with it. But I think this is one of the best solutions we have. I think being close to 29 Palm, or being close to the city hall and our sheriff station will help if there's any crime issue, which I don't think we'll have. I like the design. It's needed. It's required, and I'm all for it.
All right, thank you.
I do have one further comment.
Of course.
Just on a personal side, I love the project in and of itself. I do not like the architecture. It looks like a big square box. I don't personally think it fits in 29 Palms, but that's not a criteria for not approving it. The layout, the whole development, other than the architecture, I think is very well done.
All right, and I have no comments either. I think both commissioners have addressed it to right on point for what I was looking at as well. So I will take a motion.
I make a motion that we approve. What are we approving? Site plan? I make a motion that we approve the site plan
Hold
for
on.
the new.
I'm getting to the actual motion here.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's
there it
there's a recommendation.
Okay. That we approve the resolution finding the project categorically exempt from CEQA per section 15332. Approve the site plan and design review for SPR 22-000003 affordable housing project.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, roll call vote.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dixon,
Aye.
approved.
All right. Now we will go on to discussion of potential action items. Do we have any?
Yes, I would like to make sure we have this on record, that we're going to ask staff to come back with clarification on the vacational rental, what is a connected or attached unit. So we can hopefully get that put to bed finally and bring that back. I realize you guys are busy, but as soon as reasonably convenient.
Understood.
No, no.
All right, any other discussions of potential action items? No? All right, Community Development Director updates.
Yes, so I am the Community Development Director officially.
Yay, congratulations.
So I'm here.
And condolences.
What did you say?
And condolences.
So I was interim here for the last X amount of months, and I'm here. So hope you don't mind looking at this every couple of weeks.
Commissioner Krushat and I both have worked with Keith before, so I look forward to working with him again.
Yep.
All right, congratulations. Study sessions, look like we have none, so we will adjourn this meeting. You guys have a shredder?